admitting or claiming his side has quality than almost every team in Ghana and can represent an African country. He has also blamed officiating and calls to sack Zerbo for the club's recent performance. And also, many people do not understand football. Asserting that youth players cannot succeed at Kotoko is a fallacy. Also, claims that Kotoko's performance is under par this season is false. The results have not been consistent due to so many factors. When you do a sober reflection, you will see factors affecting the team. There's no team in Ghana that has quality than Kotoko. Kotoko's current team can represent an African country, and we are attributed to Nana Yaw Amponsah. But your voice, no quick one. So this is voice, no, okay, ain't it?
It's a football, and I said, "Bobby Brady, it's your money, and that Kotoko Nkolamo. Mbappe were this saying. Jude Bellingham were this saying. Michael Owen sees no this saying. World Pele, what is no this saying. I be the Pele sees to know this saying. You will chrome one as you best onto the scene, beating everybody. Na Kotoko team in this season, the top 9 of the league. The only teams that didn't beat you in the top 9 are Gold Stars and the Has. Yasho Bia, Yashe Diana, Yashe Mediama, Yashe Bichim, and Wembium. Obia, but the results have not been consistent due to so many factors. Obi Timika, when I Kotoko players, no Mundu Kotoko, Upa for player by player, team D any Ghana ha, for player by player, or quality in Kotoko. Upa form national team material. One day I called senior players in the team, see a meeting. Before we say I was shocked. Because those players, 1 to 11, we call 10 then. We representing countries be Africa. Shedan lad, onye Kotoko material. Asari, onye Kotoko material. E Japan no kobo chan, onye Kotoko material. Mubarak, onye Kotoko material. Sheriff no kobo chan, onye Kotoko material. Justice Blay, onye Kotoko material. Michel Bodu Agadas, onye Kotoko material. Rashid Norte, onye Kotoko material. Infegi, onye Kotoko material. Mukwala, onye Kotoko material. Isaac Opon, onye Kotoko material. Nicolas Mensah, after 6 matches, no shed 3 goals. Onye Kotoko material. Rocky Amina, SS boy, but her bobo, honestly, Kotoko material. Results Kobonia, I won't say Pia, Nipaka. But when you sit down and do a sober reflection, you see factors are affecting. And football, no, football, a very difficult thing to manage. When you butre, now one Shishaniama, well, be Juliago. And no more year coaching in your man coaching your attacking your man corner. They say, me to some coach us. But look at the results now, and look at the results then. Before if he said, you could be any. I'm a 2 strange penalties. Yeah, still your board draw. Yeah, remember, last season, who your referee was banned. Your Cocarella, you who so far we see outside 18. Your Cofaber 218, about penalty TI. And many more. Our referee suffered for it. But people decided to forget about that and blame the coach, blame players. And it gets to a point that players, they give up. And football gets to a point, to me, and give you up now saying, at once. It takes time. They never be a quite. And Akwatia teams be brave. Look at League Arebo. Last season, as of the time I said coaching because media ma be share home. Last season the same time, lose 4 matches for home. In fact, I share back to back. Even City's be sharing, Chelsea be sharing. That same period, lose 4 home. Obi Anka said, Empamu coach. But the very first game we lost at home against Mediama, it's a coaching call. Okay, teams and show move 5-1. Or show move for the same coach, Oshaka Lions 4-0, Kumasi. Oshakotoku 5-1. I see again. Into football, no dear. Because the football and politics is the only professional. Obia Fuzoni. no matter how you study and what you know, no, when it comes to football and politics, be an expert, you know.
All right, so we Kotoko Chief Executive Officer Yaw Amponsah Onona Ekasa. I think this was at the May 9. In Central for a ban or na or Chichim. There have been several commentaries and the Chief Executive Officer of Kotoko is on the line. Nana Yaw Amponsah. Chief Otienka.
Time.
Okay. Okay. Yes, we are Joseph.
I hope so. Be here.
Obia. Usually, and come say I but we are grateful. Okay. We are grateful because na ebehia nchemu kakra because I'm say May 9 ho baby na nsentwe for be na ukasa nsema ukai but looks like minim se mu na ho ma amamfo ana se sen na tiao but sen na o patch nsem sen na wo kano na yenyina yentibi this time around.
I would have made sure I would not make sure Asante Kotoko if it happened, you know, make sure with you for you know. I would have wished Ube Fano maybe issue by issue based on what I said because for me it was a little clear. But before then, let me speak concerning May 9th, for which was the main purpose of my call. Sometimes in Central for and I said, yeah, you are going. Your money may be outshining the most important occasion for which a person is invited. I was invited there to commemorate May 9th anniversary, 22 years of May 9th, which is very dear to my heart and that of the entire football fraternity. Now, I only decided to speak about May 9th and how important it is for us to learn from the lessons of May 9th. The most important question was, have we learned anything from May 9th? And I said, of course, we have learned a lot from May 9th, but as to whether we are practicing what we have learned is also another matter. If we say never again, never again, never again, but it seems never again, a cliche. Kasa, our actions, but the action speaks louder than words. If we were 22 years in the May 9th disaster and every year I can say there has been hooliganism at one or two centers in our league. So you see research into every season since 2001 May 9th now. I'm sure every season there's been a center to try some akoso. Meti as a club official. Then you'll be a new makwa. Said you abusing me. Whether it's verbal abuse, people hurl insult at you, insult you, just because you be diagro. And I said the boxers cry now, they embrace because they understand it's a sport. How much more football? Said but will be crying a foul. Because boxing you are allowed to hit. But football you are not allowed to, use any brutal or excessive force. Now boxers they embrace it. I'm almost supporters embrace it. Now you're in football, you ain't me and yes sir. Like I said, baby na day. Aka I will say it. And I even went for it I had to say I would wish that May 9th near sea you be not funny pictures. Any home inscriptions be not all football venues. Yaya banners I can see. Edi sane manabo boho intin uremua you see the damage such atrocities can cause, the damage that hooliganism can cause before obeying them, so that it will be a guiding principle for you, to be a sort of guiding for you as you enter. Say, hey, it could be a transfer and I say, Yanti of once, no, near 2 years new. I don't know, nothing in phony boy. Into me, come now, some comportment. I was a church as a football, no, a win, lose, or draw. There is no single team in this world that wins every game. And you know, Mama said the Union Motoring in a bushing for Yako. Okay, I mean, for currency.
Okay.
Then going forward, you know, it should be a film.
Okay.
It gave voice now, boy. The question was, Diana, Amakotoko, your baby away.
Okay.
And factors be brave. I'm afraid are affecting this season. Football administration or anything in this life, if you plan it and it does not go, the results does not reflect the plan that has gone into it, everybody will deem it as failure. As part of your commentary, it is said, some are saying, some may say, this season has not been bad. Of course, I didn't say that. I mean, anybody following the league will know that Kotoko this season hasn't been good.
Okay.
It hasn't been good because we do not have the results that we wished for, and we are not where we hope to be. Now, the number of factors, some I will go into details, some I may not go into details for other things.
Right.
Instead, the acquire a far so your coach or last season or last season, it was a shocker to management. As you are aware, the incident happened during a board meeting. And after that, you all know the issues that ensued after that. It took us time for us to even get a new coach to come in.
Okay.
New coach, you know, your league, you know, the first, because of the calendar, the first competitive match we play always African Champions League or Confederation. That's the first competitive match we play as a Ghanaian club. Meanwhile, others would have played their leagues, maybe 5-10 matches into the league, gain momentum, gain their rhythm before they come into Africa. But to Ghana teams are the first game they about Africa. And the players, Diogo, for instance, a lot of our players, it was the first time they were playing at Baba Yara. Their very first game at Baba Yara was an African game. Anyhow difficult it is for players to be settled in Kotoko. The players are about Kotoko. If the first season Chrome who it took them second season and almost picking. And you know, even though that game was a home game, you know, it wasn't home to a lot of the players that are coming. It was their first time at the venue. First time, unless we free different club in the bar and our ball as an away player. You know, I don't see pitch, but I have a pitch but they were supposed to play. But of course, that is football. Into such a situation is a factor that affected us. Again, Coach Biafra, he needs to. It takes time for him to know his players, know the capabilities of players and all that. We have a challenge of players having to leave. We've been torn up. There are players we practically begged. Come on, what those 2 African qualifying matches, but they were not patient to do it. There were some I don't want to use the word feigned injuries, but said so much proud. I mean, David has spoken about Mbella, for instance. And so I can repeat it. Mbella did not play a single preseason match. Yet to Kwankra Wankobi. Also, we're proud. And the doctors, at the point I was even arguing with the doctors, I don't think the boy in the pra. Maybe he just doesn't want to play. I'm sure Oyerepa, they check this. No, I scan. On the day, me because now yes offer be about the embassy beji. We kept telling him, so what do you want offer by a beji? There was no offer on the table. There were speculations all over the media. And you see, when the media speculated the club we actually record so a player we club actually not any player on the head. Of course, offer Anaba and Motenaso. That's at that time not one official offer. But then it's eventually in offer now, a conference caller. Maybe say almost say Ube medical. No be away pray where that pass medical. Or see me okay me pass it. That was when I got confirmation that he just didn't want to play. And this was a player on any $2,000 at the time. We out by offering $25,000. Serve you. How do you compete? I'll share a secret about Mbella today. I practically begged him because I knew FC Zurich were interested in him. But they had said they will only sign him in January. So I was even begging him, say, so we have to now get qualified into the group stage of the Champions League. Maybe January, no. We'll stop grab a cost room or value because I'm an European team will come for you. And I mentioned the team to him. Once year, or Egypt. Zurich came again, and the Egyptian club no ball more money, and I'm on the free banner. They be Mbella Nyabo train or Boa Kotoka. People go European Egypt no ball. So we lost players. Yeah? A player like Danlad, Ibrahim, and I'll say this on authority. Danlad had decided he was leaving Kotoko to go to Hilal. You can ask him. The Panichawa. The offer banner player say, oh, stay here. Oh, yeah, you can force a horse to the riverside. You cannot force it to drink. Because almost said you're more bushia for me, Ubusa at Pantamahene when he was doing Kotoko. I was in his house when Inkum's father and mother and their pastor came there. He said, offer me for Romania, Bentondiana Manonko. I had to step in and also speak to convince the boy that oh stay out of Papa Baba. So and yet percent the top players are. Now let's come to issues of officiating. By the time about 4 or 5 referees were banned in the first round, the reasons for which they were banned, we can pick it match by match. Haas versus Kotoko. Kotoko versus Haas for Babayara. We also what happened. It was supposed to be a win for Kotoko. We would have gotten 2 more points. Yoko Bibieni. We all saw the controversial 2 penalty point to one. Wouldn't we be second on the table? What the effect baby? That's the say. What the 8 points higher point to one? Wouldn't we be top of the table? And we forgot about all these things and said, coach and uncle. As management, I'll be very honest with you, we're not ready to let the coach go. Because we believe, he had made it very difficult for teams to create chances against us. There are things people do not consider. Last season, we were winning the league. But anybody that does an analysis of our games realize that teams were creating a lot of chances against us. They were just not scoring. Against Dreams FC in Kumasi, they could have beaten us in the first half. There were several times teams were creating a lot of chances. Car Lions in there. But this time we realized that it was difficult for teams to create chances against us. But however, we were missing a lot of scoring chances. At the end of the first round, the analysis of video analysis, now you're creating 84 clear goal scoring chances. 84. And yet, chance be near you expect say we there. Or better, 84. Out of 84, near Shemum said 22. So conversion was a problem. And I also understand football and your chances in now create our best. That is why football we don't get cricket scores all the time. 1-0, 1-1, 2-1. And anything as officiating be ankoye. Na nka game a we win 1-0 be 1-1 na. E affect you. Game anka we win 2-1 e be 2-2 a problem because football, of course, as fans, we expect say the team will create 10 chances and score 10. But at the highest level, we see it. And now we have Real Madrid City. They created chances, but at the end of the game, it was 1-1. And these are high-level players you expect to convert chances. But that is the nature of football. I repeat, at the time, it was our first defeat at Baba Yara. It was our first defeat this season. And I think it's still our only defeat, if I'm not mistaken, at Baba Yara. Meanwhile, last season, by that time, we lost 4 home matches. We lost twice to King Faisal. Become Chelsea Beshe. Lagos City is Beshe. But we still went ahead to win the league. I can say on authority, say, since Coach Debo left, officiating has been very good. Who say even fans are now officials complaining about officiating since Coach Debo left. And it doesn't mean say the officiating here excuses. We all witnessed it, and there were referees who were punished for these activities. But you see, managerial change, it affects a lot of things. A new coach will come in midstream. He had to bring in his own philosophy, his own style of playing. And no change. This season injuries a DNA last season. There have been times that we have struggled as a team to raise 20-man squad to go and play. And only Dr. Skasa, these injuries, happen with training grounds. So all these injuries, SCO matches, it means the players were not getting enough protection, especially in away games. You know Rashid Norte, how Karela, he was butchered. No protection. Yehu Morrison, I think it was in Swatraman, Obishri, Tiara, and Nanso, and several other injuries. And football, you can have one star player, Upra, it affects your team. If you look at the back four, for instance, we have been very inconsistent in selection. Every time your back four, sir. But any team that is winning championship, mostly will back four, and you goalkeeper the entire season. But every match, team knows every match. So when people say, "Oh, you partner Kotoko," you say it's true because the materials keep changing. Now, ABC Kotoko inequality. You see other teams here, and they have about draw me and somewhere you home. In the last 3 home matches, I was see you winning. At all costs, I was seeing you winning those 3 matches. You winning those 3 matches, and you have 6 points in the count one. And here the second. King Faisal are near about draw home. King Faisal are more than here with table also. Because Tamale City near the ball draw home. Table no more than and a Gold Stars.
Yeah.
In terms of those players, about those teams, some more quality saying we can pick Kotoko players one after the other and see whether they have the quality to play in our league or not. You can do the analysis yourselves. Danlad Ibrahim, our child number 1, under 23 number 1. Aqua World Cup about on your Kotoko material. But you get people who say Danlad in your Kotoko material because you are sharing me and Sao Brekum. Some errors happen in your Kotoko material. Asari, we've all seen Asari's performance this season. Last season, I started keeping 13 clean sheets when they go, you kind of say, Accra Lions. And Kahuni share Uncle Fire no buy. Okay, you will see his performance. I pity somebody like Poate, the goalkeeper. Very good goalkeeper. Obaye, the only time only opportunity or ball friendly match of Akano Pride, only opportunity. But he's been patient. You're right back at Japan. So we all saw his performance there. At the time, there was a player, everyone was agitated to see Uncle Fanembra of the Randolph from Karela. Only a Japan young coach. He was starting ahead of a Japan. At the point, he was taken out for a Japan to become the number one there. We all witnessed it. These are facts. Sheriff, the lad was number one at the Chan. Sheriff, Chan actually of a boy. So these three players, I'm going to go to material now. You know how people have said, Agadas should have been in that Chan team. You've not seen his performances. One of the Chan coaches came out, that is the Olympics coach, came out to say, Lamptey, he feels Lamptey shouldn't be called ahead of some Black Star players. We saw Sheriff Mohammed last season, the midfielder, before Onya injury. Yehu Stevie Mukwala about Uganda national team. Yehu a fit in Fege last season. You need pressure supporters they might have to bring more last time because they feel his for material. In the end, more where Chile only consider goals and more nyakotoko material. Yehu Mubarak with his experience. Even defenders like Ajimani Apel, people forget easily sometimes. Last season, two of our most difficult games last season, winning and trophy, we had the centre back pairing of Ajimani and Apel. Midiama, Apel scored there. Apel ni Ajimani Kobo Midiama. Away near we need 2-0 no. And Apel scored there. Yeba has go the game that crowned us. Apel ni Ajimani boy, okay. I'm Ajimani then HA go. But there's so many material. Isaac Opon, we all saw an injury. Isaac Opon, everybody saw him. Nicolas Mensah, a new legal issue hereby. Everybody saw him. After 6 matches, no one shed 3. When you are recruiting, ultimately recruiting Sebe, players you need youngsters to also blend. Kotoko youth team, Kotoko youth team, yes, to see any no. Yeah, youth team, say baby to make promote players into the senior side. Into say, or China youth team legend, near promote 6 players to the senior side. You make us all Kotoko material. They need to be part of the team to learn. And Kolani Adio Mobile, I don't think someone go more any massive. We have seen Shadrakadu play. We've seen Rocky Jamina play. We have seen Nicolas Osebo to play on the left at the left back position. Intino ayabutre Niema pia kweche Niema bebre internally, externally. And I sit back and it's painful to watch. But football sanity here.
Okay.
This season we have seen Chelsea, we have seen Liverpool. House of Folk won the league 2 seasons ago. Last season they were in 6th position. Yeah, by first season, yeah, but me, I say that our performance in the first season for me is better than last year in winning league. And I say that because first season you play all our matches away from home and still play second, just 4 points away from the top. Last season we won the league with 6 points clear, 11 points clear, 19 points clear of our arch rivals. But at the point we thought it was still possible to win the league. But injuries are higher, Abemubu, and a whole lot. And you know, I don't know what is wrong with what I said really.
Okay. And that's na mami mbusa we. what can be about Zebo? So my question is, if you were not convinced, say also why would anybody?
I don't know. Quite a difficult feedback.
Okay, until you film. Is it better now? Hello. But okay. Now, mami, we na mi busa say, now can be about Zebo. Say as a calls, no, for you to get him to go and a man a bus. I'm saying that if as management you are not convinced, why would you allow
make
this to
decision.
happen? Yeah.
Okay. We did not bow to just calls for him to go. No. I think that as management, we knew where the club was, we knew what he was capable of. But we picked up intel, strong intel. Say some people had plotted or planned to go and attack him at the training grounds, similar to what happened with Matic and House of Folk. And so the NBS were Kotogoda. And we thought that such a thing happening would not be in the best interest of the club, especially with the image of the club.
Okay.
When we engaged him, he also said he had some conversations with his embassy here, and they had reiterated same. So we felt that no. Sir, remember, you pay attack coach war, training grounds now he to defame the brand here. If he's fallen out of love, we should just save ourselves that trouble. If you ask any management member, we were not happy with him going because we felt that we still had a chance in the league with him. Okay, we felt that we still had a chance with him, and we felt that time you cannot bring any outsider coach to come and make any massive impact.
Okay.
If officiating continued the way it was then, to be very honest with you.
Okay. All right. Let's also ask this. The only time what reference the supporters was with Mo Alasan. Why Mona normally behind the calls to get Zebo out? Was it the supporters or who were making those calls?
Oh, there were a majority of supporters who wanted him out. I remember after the match against Accra, Suffolk in Accra, I had to step in, or otherwise it would have been attacked. But even some persons I know, but it's not necessary now. And there were let me open up to you. There was a point, there were calls from even a section of the board, and I'll say this on authority that either the coach goes or the CEO goes.
Okay.
This is on record.
Okay.
If as a coach, the and a CEO, the that is on record.
All right.
It's a fact.
All right. Again, I want us to clarify certain things. I did back what and go for what people have said about you. And they said you said it was going to be you and your management. They said you were going to get them a youth team.
We are
going to get them a youth team. Now, what has happened to the youth aspect of what the developing players who take over from these players? Youth issues with Southampton and others. Now, saying what's going on?
Okay, so there are things I can disclose. There are things I have to be cautious.
Okay.
Recently, we will say a recruitment for the youth team. One of the challenges of the youth team recruitment is accommodation. We anticipated it. So when we did the recruitment, we recruited initial. We selected. I shouldn't say recruited. We selected initial 55 players. 55. We realized that a lot of them don't stay in and around the Kumasi area.
Yeah.
So to bring them together, you need accommodation. So we're looking for accommodation options. We also, as management, have another option which clubs in England do, what we call the host family system, where if you are timer, Otibeng, Adakoja, and Kumasi, timer, Akola we fan of Kotoko youth team. Say maybe free no wa. Won't mean free home bank. Ye say or better now on chain. No boy youth team no name mono. Bosumi bia ye bema o ebia 500 cedis and 1,000 Ghana cedis. What the better what the best share Akola no say the DDM will fear the Jerry Ninnemuni idea.
Okay.
Because if you can see a current diamond ABR now it's very difficult. At the same time, we're also looking at another option of renting a whole apartment block to accommodate them. So that was the next step we were supposed to take before Zebo had to go, and therefore Ghazali had to step in. And when you say youth team, Ghazali and Noye.
Okay.
But Southampton, I don't have to say this. I'm not permitted to say this, but recently had a rep come to Adakojachi.
Okay.
After the recruitment, there are plans, on ground, to get the youth team properly done.
Okay.
To a level where some of these partners are willing to even invest in it. But also, we've been to me find it can be a game without certain parameters being set properly.
Okay. Okay. All right. The next one, so Nano, who said the IGF, you are now generating a lot of revenue as a football club or income. But do maybe about 2 months salary my. So if you are doing so well, why is it that sometimes Yana and could they pay any idea delay no? No, then man basa.
Okay. A couple of factors. The most consistent revenue source in any football club gate proceeds. Okay. So when you do your financial budgeting, in terms of revenue, gate proceeds takes a chunk of it. And I'll say this, we had anticipated in our budget, say, at least every month, and about 2 home matches, we should be able to net 200,000 cedis in the 2 matches.
Okay.
But it's not been forthcoming. There have been times, it's been about 3 matches, and I've been 50,000 Ghana cedis. Again, a lot of our revenue comes from sponsorship. And our sponsors pay quarterly. We have quarterly arrangements with them, which means every 3 months, you take a chunk. So, for instance, say sponsor number 1 million Ghana cedis a year. Every 3 months, we give 250,000. Now, in recent economic challenges, about some of the sponsors, the debt restructuring, they affect you. I can see that we have one sponsor through this debt restructuring. About 112 million Ghana cedis.
Wow.
It is a time no so na work this kana. Na catch nya abotra. I will say nya abotra.
Okay.
If you are sponsor amount 250,000 and also more 500,000. When him say 500,000 be to wages for the whole month. Oko e no see 500 no me nya ma. Me nya mu 200 na ma. 200 no three mature players be na win jepi. Go there, who is out for 5 and no abitua will be our staff. Who no say, I want you to means me chairman workers, but me also pressure on to the 200. When you got the 200 main because we know what contract, the other one 500. Obeji, Oji, I want to make say, oh, me, Chiebi, Name Jaibi, because we have a problem. There also we have a now we are in Sana Wechia. I've been hearing talk say the players got 6 months. It didn't see that during my time as CEO. Now your outstanding salaries of 3 months. That's what I came to meet. It was June. It was May, June, July. 100.7. July. I think June, July, and August. Early August. So yeah, it was 3 months. There was sign-on fee, outstanding of 1.45 million Ghana cedis. What am I saying? At this time, also because sign-on fee, because you hear kind of a bit clear on sign-on fees now. If you want to go the same sign-on fee way now, it be no problem. And again, I've explained over and over why we went for this salary structure. The salary structure we some your salary level no ekosro. I can say we are paying times 3 or 4 what we came to meet. Well, now here's the idea with me. How I've been trained, and I don't think say a fair say play a salary became and any worker salary became. But in my job as a football agent previously, representing and as a sports law practitioner, representing players and coaches, I tell you all over the world these things happen. But a tradio player who bought Division 1 and about Division 2, I would get 500 cedis a month. Okay. Now you do about 500 cedis, you have to call 5 months, near my. Now you do about near amount 4,000 cedis a month, 3,000 cedis a month. Now the lowest paid player is 2,500, which is the SSS boy. Now the salary delay 1 month and now 2 months. Now what I find it intriguing because some of these players, your players are about 4 months, normally 600 cedis. This 100 cedis you multiply by 12 months, that's 7,200. I'm feeling now only 7,200. Now, find off in a if you don't be fan count. Now, you are banning about 7,000 cedis a month. It means you can't count better enough, and now general swimming. It's a delay 1 or 2 months. Now, I say Nuntino, you are coming more. Finish say you. Salary in a delay cry back. Now, results now, economy. Can we get it back? No. And I say this on authority that there has never been a time said the players car me make your management car management member. Is it possible say the players car no make your David can make your Imaka can make your Thomas car? It can't happen.
Okay.
So the players are always put first. And as you can raise, I go for referee say running a football club. There's so much that goes into it. Yeah? Medicals alone, a car you bought on medicals. After every match, MRIs are here, That's why we have good doctors, Small knock, MRI. Small knock a player no another clubber. How many eyes better so no more check around. Your bomb match me MRI 4, 5, MRI 3, 4. Nina is car. Even the tapes crown we use to get and mechanic watch our member show. Tips somebody take keke. Again, hotels are team done now. No, you quite aware. But some say, I don't know pampa players, your office are hotel. And you see, a team like Chelsea will not say performance in Koye this season, hotel level of players in the Dano, almost so.
Yeah. Okay.
Remember being in Casa Barcelona Channel 4, the next match, the players go to hotel level no work from. That is not professionalism.
Yeah.
You need to maintain standards and raise standards. Yeah. And you buy, players now could be a dance actually. Hotels are more than a born and adequate, a Ghanaian Mudi, almost to a packed lunch, packed breakfast. Something like bus here, a buy. We have to pay 20% of that bus.
Okay.
20% meant about 50,000 cedis every month for 1 year. But now the maintenance alone, and you have because you have 1 year warranty with insurance in terms of maintenance. But after that, you need to go and you need to pay. To change oil of that bus alone is 11,000 cedis plus.
Hey.
Now, no, there was a little issue with air conditioning. You see, that alone was about 39,000 cedis.
Yeah, maintenance.
Maintenance is another thing. And a lot of near mass who are you what I could just generator room, a blow. You should try a grad, a blow. You need to go and spend money. Well, a lot of unforeseen circumstances are a GEC cano. They catch our membership. Sometimes Thomas Crow, the Bamani.
Yeah. But you see, with all this, Oteminka, and say, oh, board, or now, yes, wow, was who be I. Wow. Our sponsors near the day. Nan say, Yamia do when you're Mudia, sense, and you say no. Also, no mukoka, it is a umu, ushia or moi. Ahom Brasia also no do Casania, don't vama. And I'm a name in be good. Time.
Speak.
Aye.
You say Nanaya Umuadie or arrogant. Minya nipa baako say Emma Nanka say Nanaya ye me say intina me say Umuadie. Me time asana me tie no. Se meka say sometime I say ya me see nyina so adeko sometime aye me tia me say what to say.
Okay.
But meka say oh timer say bi o kronfo minti chere adeko no baako at time abo na my it's called and I kind of give a dog a bad name and hang it.
Okay.
Mathieu will be a radio swap. I think Anaya, form, but I need to put 5 phone friendly on the Casa twice, on the Casa or maybe as I'm a buyer. Not once, no much or any disrespect, and nobody much any disrespect. And you see, we move board for you can speak to them individually. We have a board of 12. I don't think you get more than 3 saying semi muadia. I don't think you get more than 3. But that is fair enough. Yes. Or Sayare Homeda. Yes, I am born. Yeah, me could be pabo, but yes, you are born as Saint now also for.
Na sa treno sa treno sa treno di entina ombekasa.
I don't think it's a topic for today.
Okay.
I don't want to go into
it's true. Okay. Mami move to
never disrespected anybody.
Okay.
Obey me, akwala opinion time I mean, arrogance will never form part of my life. Me, and I say this today, and I've said it on the entire program before. I lost 2 brothers. Me 2 senior brothers. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Your firstborn. Me not paying any intro. I will tell you the truth as Penny. When my father was dying, he was 76 years old. I'm a kind of correct me, Papa. I'm also kind of correct me. If any father figure in my life, or no, me kind of correct actually. You may not like the truth, and I'll say it respectfully. And there is not a single person who me I say, Yaw Amponsah, or the matem say, and no can say, and no can say.
Okay.
Never. But of course, somebody can find the pound. They say, baby.
All right. I'm saying, you call beyond what we ask for. Now, and it's sometimes very important to clarify some of these things. But Ansan and Mami Musa probably that could be the last one or last but one. Now on the bar says so the Fabu sense or Sika or man you What be kwa kutua wo mo munya accident. Na discussions no me so TB. Say acquisition are you still going to
honestly man TB but I don't know where I know so free by.
Okay, the buy and say almost say mo ye statement be na mo ka some who board for and see if it's possible for you to help the accident victims. Na eno na koba say me no wan go fa kotoko sika bia ankoma accident for no ema eno so ko fa asem foforo ba say fa abu sensors na mo de buy sika nkra de da ba bia mo mfa mo nsanka na enu bi na mo kwa akofa de akohwe accident for no chemu kakra kire yen fa abu sensors arrangement any accident for no mo ade fa wo pese mo ye fa o mo.
I would have wished young call because
okay.
When you grant interviews, now grant interviews.
Okay.
Say ni muadia. Now bekebia ni beba ko daneno. I cannot send ya omopeno. And I cannot have control over that.
Okay.
Assembly she will no more and a yawodia. Inyato abontia e obi adia. You can say you consult board.
Okay.
That was the statement that the Bible thing.
That's right.
You number out make us a consult board. Na say ni say na ede akusi. And it's not the first time I consult board on this matter.
Okay.
We have consulted board on this matter at least 3 or 4 times.
All right.
Already. And it has always been in our annual reports.
Okay.
But as I said, and as we said as a management in our statement, you see a consultation based on the directives that they feel are banners against to everybody. Yeah, the people are bonting. I wouldn't want to go.
All right, I will respect that position.
Maybe can be hard and if you two are no matter
the board and I do more than a banner. My own could do money. But and Kofoso, there are messages about Osman Ibrahim. Say Upriah say Moyi Moniamano. Are you in a position to tell us something? And I say, and also another issue.
I would have spoken about it, okay? But I didn't take it dimension. I was a Krumua, and as you Paya, dear, you're doing young choir, young beyond us. And and let everybody accusing me of tribalism. And kind of saying neglect and certain discrimination against Zongo and all. I was like, who will sit down and write such a thing without even looking at the history since I've been around? She team she play a beer baby free. She almost pra. Then she almost surgery. Almost show players, I'm a person players once. There are players that we have to beg them to go and see doctors. Osman, who we talk to a doctor, the number of times I mean Osman conference call I am betting. What do you say? Player who your directives are doctors in my mouth. Say fast coin with so. That's a man and say that you say. There are some players who believe in traditional medicine, for instance. Oh, Mupra, Dr. Chen is on you say no, so you're not there. I then you aggravated that Oba on your but nobody can say remember back you neglect any player. Say one fact the prescribed route no so not at the end of child. You cannot wake up time. So we have to say you problem be also quite surgery. Who didn't time can now go around confirm not to say surgery. There are processes you go through, and you have to even be given a surgery date. Say at the end, you can make a try way. We are ABR when we are not say a far, you may not need a surgery. We are now far now being a surgery.
Okay.
Okay, what so follow? Look at the player like Mubarak. Recently, he had a situation. They said, okay, I also a surgery, but I will see a share. Also, A, B, C, D. Or you will not improve. obey surgery. It is up to you, the player, to follow that. Player who mentions a man nanti idea way so, and the player in question now who can. If I see a renting apartment, I'm a player now. This one player, I said to the authority, he has refused to stay in apartments. The regular players.
So on now.
Until them, sometimes we need you to be there so we can monitor you. Oko alone and Oko Pry, okay, Pfizer. But the records, it seems he played through an injury that he was not supposed to play through. Oba and doctors have tried say, I'm going to be so many a year so. There have been times he's not been cooperative. Doctors will call me and complain. I'll call him. He will say this. His word against the doctor's word and all that. But I know players. What am I saying? And this is a boy I've spoken to almost every other day. He calls me almost every day. But there are processes. I was at the end of the day. So if anybody gets up to accuse and I actual letter, and Yaw Amponsah is discriminating against these Zongo boys. Hey,
okay.
Sheriff for Zongo boy.
Okay.
Raul for buy on Bobo my head. I see I said, oh, you're Zongo boy. Oh, yeah, maybe I in Abutre.
Okay. But Masa an opportunity be now.
Okay. Doctor now who using around the best.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Team officials now. Some of these boys, near my young woman, you can't say I can, but
okay.
I won't hear.
Okay.
And the message is we do all now on Tiasia. Don't go accusing people and saying things anymore.
Okay. Finally, a branch and let about some suspending say or engage supporters or social media near day. Ebe say as said the democratic culture I want team no aba form obi ntimi enchre na adwene eno final day na be kana afi dey asiwo.
There's nothing like democratic culture about from Okobia or rules and regulations.
Okay.
Your code of conduct. Say who breach code of conduct now. We take an initial action. Then we call you and give you a fair hearing. Make sure the natural justice works. What am I saying?
Yeah.
Debbie, you know him another sobre.
Yeah.
I've practiced sports law for years. Sebi, I understand natural justice.
Yeah.
But never because and yes, I go say, Ubu or Becca Semocran or Kakeku, I look ready, and the same boy. A money member asked him, I have a chat with you and a money member. Ask him, say, play and pain or see it in the country man. He couldn't say. Well, and I was so sure, and this is a boy, but this is a boy. This management has protected him, even at certain times we shouldn't have. You are aware? That go to point problems of Konya in a same accusation. Everybody said, and I am Ponsa Cotton, Neddy, na say, Anka, may I sure say, as a Nasam Cotton, because we need to protect him. And so the Akolaya Bonnet say, that's all correct now. And I said, Uko school now, you're born to teach about board. So I don't just teach at the time. They need to be disciplined.
Okay. See you, Asante Kotogonana. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for your time. Say, finally, Kabibichi was supporters, no? Kagakrache supporters, no? Kabibichi supporters, no? Supporters,
for the support thus far. Okay. Without them, we couldn't have achieved what we've achieved. We wouldn't be where we are. We are sorry for the disappointment this season, but I keep saying that in times like this, we need support more. In times like this, we need support because you see a friend in need is a friend indeed. The best from say, "Omunya players in one betray." Hey yeah. Me can't say this. It say, "We do a bush in your hospital." Now doctor didn't go theater. Now we Pierre catcher was a bush in night. Sebi, Wakabe
couldn't make it.
She knew a doctor and catch the bush in over Tiasia that moment. doctor no ɛyɛ ne yaw na as a professional no the next day ɔbɛsan surgery.
Yeah.
Because I was so surgery.
Yeah.
But who are who say ne no on fias here that the only time I was smile bi me say obuhwani awo.
Okay.
So it's like a football fan. What cost match at Ankoye? Well, lose. You know how can but the person is in pain. Yeah. The who administrator no, and our player and our coach, you know. One for a doctor no. Yeah, but the next you overside then. Akobobium.
That's right.
It took on our for the fan. I say akola. I say why the wawa akola for Friday. Amano. When the ref we no kakra. When the niaji. Say wawa for Amano. It the answer I anti fans and I say.
Okay.
Why?
Okay.
Yes, fans administrator. Yes, your massive.
It has to be Yaw Amponsah, Chief Executive Officer of Asante Kotoko. You're engaging on a wide range of issues. Just some 10 minutes penny or the chair said, to me, and Koko Sans no, but producers get all of them for us naturally. We dissect them. Then it's where 1 minute to meet back na whatever. We need the other one can be cry. Ubi go TV. Ugo. And yeah. Then it's young quiet and kakra.
Me were starting posture. And I think say obi a young person I ambitious be probably it will be your posture. Say you crew my entire young people leading big organizations. Your entire mass opportunity no. It takes a check. And the attackers who uswa, but also who say, lead organizations. I are no more
young people.
They are young people.
My example of when we went to German Bundesliga, 28, 30, 33.
Because
when you furnish them, no more two.
Mostly by most of the by the educational background by 1918, Nandipan were real university. By 18 years, Nandipan were real university. Wayene Juma working experience, and the way our world needs economy, we need to give opportunity. Me by my pusher, Nanaya Yobia, baby, I admire and I look up to him. Or you need to obey mistakes, but conversation I've taken a lot of it. I don't think say maybe the mechanic say there's need set time piano, not by him, by areas baby or more piano. Machinery for them to explain things to the supporters.
Yeah.
They need a proper running PR. Machinery for people to understand what is going on, not because the oil because time out because time worker saying there are calls. They say, okay, who are these things coming from? I say, oh, majority of the supporters.
Yeah.
And maybe fans say Juma Penny be or Kasa Omo or Kasa. So Kasa as a Kotoko you are talking to Kotoko supporters. And the assumption is that will be a what you assume is a Kotoko supporter. So time I walk now, you are speaking to Oyerepa listeners, and you assume that will be all gonna be at Oyerepa. That's the assumption you make. Nanaya will assume that majority of people in Ghana are Kotoko fans, and maybe they need a proper running PR machinery, position and what they are doing for people to understand, or at least majority of the people to understand.
Okay.
The context and the background they are coming from.
That's it.
Yeah.
Why idea? Na chiwa bani asa to aso. Bavo.
That's quite a lengthy one and good one at that. Two things in a striker. Me one, the way and manner Ogum left shocked the management, and I think say a bit here bit dice you bet dissecting kakra we can and then the call for is a bullhead, you know. I should say I clear say it came from the supporters largely, if you like.
He also mentioned other people.
Oh yes, until I'm used to the word largely and say in terms of the board ni ebi. Board for the
supporters in Kwana Mikasi. There might be other groups.
Yes, I accept that, but say you look at the larger and I think say with time now we'll come and have a look at it properly and then
Captain.
Time will not allow me to go into a lot of things our kind. In fact, I'm touched by a lot of revelations or the clarifications that many was semi-brawaka, and I want to believe that a good number of Asante Kotoko supporters and our friends in the media, our mutie, which I know they listen and they will be using those and some of kind, you know, at the IOMU programs, at the among what Tinema Aircos was Asante Kotoko, any management never be or more, I see. You know, so okay, the producers no.
Okay.
It was a detail that you know. I said, made the one bed the next bed 3 months. Made the one bed the next bed 3 months.
The home bed can be because we did the home.
Because I made the home.
Because oh, country.
Oh,
can't Santa Casa. So when you are Nunsi Bonin.
That's a walk come and I could use
also made the home command. I make can be made the home. The next Obinya. Sika na mfa so obi wo ho santi na meka ze